ways that we can go about doing this review. The first way is the simple way, which we can say it's a fun, turn your brain off kind of movie with explosions and special effects and lasers and kaiju and mecha, and we can just leave it at that and say, go check it out. Or we can go the other route and explain why we really aren't too hot on this entry.
Yeah.
Godzilla takes on his evil space twin and a legion of tired tropes. So here we are, right? Here we are.
Such a heavy sigh.
40 years have passed since Godzilla 1954.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And we are here at Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, the second to last entry in the Heisei timeline. And it's like the apex of tired Heisei Godzilla tropes and cliches.
They threw it into a blender and made this movie. I know you said you didn't hate it. I hated it.
So there's like these three plans going on right now to kill Godzilla, right? There is the tried and true build a giant fucking robot. Moguera is introduced over the opening credits, much like how Mechagodzilla was in the previous movie.
Exactly like how in the previous movie. Hey, remember how when we tried to destroy Godzilla with a giant robot and it didn't work? Why don't we try destroying Godzilla with a giant robot?
And then there's Project T. They want to take Miki Sagusa. By the way, she's the female lead in this movie.
Yes.
They're going to shoot a transmitter onto Godzilla's neck, which will give Miki the power to control Godzilla on a psychic level. That does open up a door that they kind of go into, but don't explore very well of, well, cool, if we can peacefully control Godzilla, we can steer him away from the cities. But on the flip side of things, if it gets into the wrong hands, suddenly Godzilla becomes the ultimate fucking weapon on Earth. There's this wacky subplot later down the line with like some international mafia, Yakuza. I got no fucking idea what's going on. They want to use the psychic technology, but then they don't, and then it's over and done with, and then they never talk about it until the very end when the thing comes flying off his neck. And then the other one is you have our buddy Yuki, who is basically Ahab in this movie.
Yes. Yes, he is. That's a good point.
Yuki's pissed off at Godzilla for killing Colonel Gondo, who was in Godzilla vs. Biollante.
Yes.
And as far as I know, I believe this is the first time where the revenge idea is utilized. Again, another interesting idea that ultimately doesn't really go anywhere.
No, they dip their toe in the pool and that's it.
And another interesting take in how he wants to kill Godzilla is that he wants to shoot a blood coagulant into Godzilla, which is, I think, the first time they had ever discussed that, and it would not be used again until Shin Godzilla. But whereas in Shin Godzilla, it took a flurry of drones and falling buildings and a bunch of emergency vehicles sticking needles into his mouth to pump him full, our buddy Yuki has a bullet about this big,
the size of this,
that's going to fucking kill a 320-foot tall Godzilla.
That has proven to be indestructible.
That also goes nowhere. The blood coagulant thing also goes
nowhere.
It
goes nowhere.
You know, you would think that maybe they could use that against Space Godzilla.
Why don't they use the telepathy thing on Space Godzilla and try to control him and get him away from the city? Should we talk about Space Godzilla?
I mean, we can. There's man-ass to talk about.
Oh, right.
There's this full back nudity shot of one of the dude's asses.
Pan up, by the way.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, that was pointless. There's a brief cut to something else before it cuts to the next scene that Brian pointed out, and I never really noticed it before. He goes, why are the two other guys watching the nude dude?
But they're watching in disgust. Like, they're not liking what they're seeing, but they're still watching it.
I don't really quite understand. At the same time, there's Space Godzilla apparently coming in. When Space Godzilla is flying around and we first see him, Brian just kind of turns to me and he goes, I think it's stupid.
Period.
And I paused it and I'm like, why?
Because he flies like an idiot. He's got these giant crystals on his back. He reminds me of like if Anguirus were to just go flying through space, like with the power of his spikes, just kind of floating through space. It makes no sense.
And how does Space Godzilla look like when he's flying?
We get this nice zoom-in close-up shot, and he's just like...
And there's a big NASA meeting. They show this video of this spacecraft that NASA lost contact with.
It's no use! All the controls, they're gone!
One guy literally spinning in a circle like...
Yeah. It's so fucking stupid. The representative of NASA's like,
NASA wasn't able to come up with an explanation for what happened here. We can only speculate that it's some sort of huge monster.
And now, that's a ridiculous fucking line, but here's the thing.
Yeah, he plays it off so perfectly, though.
Since 84, right? We've had, he's right!
He's right.
We've had, the dinosaurs are attacking our boys!
Gigantic dinosaurs attacking our boy!
A dinosaur?
But this guy has this utterly ridiculous line. But he says it in a way that I find it actually believable. Notice that's like the one thing we can compliment this movie on, is the one American actor who said, "We can only conclude that it was a giant monster that attacked our space shuttle." They're like, oh shit, we better send Moguera to go take this thing out. Thus, our first battle of the movie takes place.
Is it a battle? It's a fucking thing.
It's Moguera versus Space Godzilla.
It's a space joust.
In an asteroid field that could not look any more limp.
With flying potatoes all over. I love when...
I can't even. There's nothing I can compliment this movie on.
This movie is the equivalent of that emoji where it's just like, I wish, my preference was that they get rid of this entire fight and just say that there's some sort of weird crystal thing.
You're talking about the build-up to
Yeah.
when you see Space Godzilla, because there literally is no build-up.
There's
In
no
fact,
build-up. That's the zoom in.
The first clear shot that you have of his face is that zoom in.
Is the
and
twitch.
there's no fanfare, there's nothing. He doesn't even roar. Whereas, I could be mistaken, in the previous movies, there was usually some kind of fanfare, or at least a shot designed to introduce the character in a way that you'd be like, oh, damn, look at that thing. And he kind of gets that when he eventually does land, but by that point, it's
We've
kind of
already
like,
seen him, though.
We've already had a battle, we've already had the intro where he's flying around. There are aspects about the monster that I do like, but there's also aspects that I have a big problem with, honestly. I do like the look. I like the idea of Godzilla cells being mutated in space. I like how his origins are ambiguous. I find him as a character to be really fucking boring, when he probably could have been a very interesting creature.
Yes.
One of the big problems I fucking have with him is he doesn't fucking move. He just stands there, you know?
That's his end game, is he's gonna hang out with Chris. He's gonna do the robot, apparently.
Well, that's what he does. That's what he fucking does.
Remember that shot in Godzilla 84 where he just kind of does this? That's what Space Godzilla does a lot in this movie.
And Moguera is completely immobile too. Like, there's some shots where he's stumbling around. But I think more so than anything, if we're going to talk about the designs, it also plays into the battles, which are, in my opinion, again, you want to talk about the epitome of Heisei cliches. This is like Beam Wars Central. The first battle that he has with Godzilla is just like, oh, hey, oh, we're gonna steal baby and put him in a crystal cage, and we're not gonna show him get released.
Why does Space Godzilla kidnap baby Godzilla?
They never really say.
What was he planning on doing with him?
They never really say. The baby Godzilla from the last movie is now a bigger baby Godzilla. This is another missed opportunity where this character could have been utilized in some fashion or another in terms of the plot, but he appears in the beginning and then at a tacked on scene at the end. He disappears for the majority of the movie, and then we have that beautiful Yakuza plot that goes nowhere.
Yeah. Let's take a break from the whole, like, there's a giant space monster who's trying to conquer Earth, so that way we can focus on this kidnapping heist plot. God, fuck this movie so much. I'm hating it more as we're talking about it.
So she gets kidnapped, and apparently there was like somebody from G-Force who like turned against G-Force. Now that would have been interesting, and we actually went further with that,
we're
but
not
we
gonna.
didn't.
No, we're gonna.
But they want to control Godzilla, and that's an interesting idea. But then there's a gunfight, and then it's over.
And then it's over.
And
And
this is another problem I fucking have with. There are three main characters, right? They work for G-Force, and one of them's gonna like be a sniper and kill Godzilla. But then they also have to go be hostage rescuers to save Mickey.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that she's the chief psychic of the JSDF, or G-Force in this case.
Yeah, very important.
They have the power of the United Nations behind them, but they have to send these three goons in there. And then their superiors get mad at them because they're late for boarding Moguera because they're the only three guys that can pilot fucking Moguera.
Does nobody have any backup plan in this goddamn movie?
There are all these bad sci-fi movies where there's scientists, where they are scientists for everything. They know it all.
Everything. They're experts on every subject.
Take that cliche and imbue it in these guys. It's the military everyman, you know? Like, they can literally do anything because they're military.
How many times did they say, you're the only one who can do this?
And why are they the only one that can do this?
They never really say.
No, it's just, oh god, it just doesn't make any sense. When Space Godzilla finally enters back into the scene, he's like flying over. All these people are running and screaming to the quietest explosions I've ever heard in my life.
Well, you know, he's very conscious to the pets in the neighborhood. He doesn't want to be too loud.
Right. Space Godzilla has to go to this town because there's a tower or something.
What does the tower
Fortress
do?
of Solitude? I don't know. He gets electricity from it. He gets electricity from it.
Sure.
I don't know. He gets powers from it.
Sure.
And then they're like, we got to send Moguera. And we like, he's upgraded now.
Why?
Yes.
How is he upgraded?
Before that even happens, we have to wade through the 40-plus scenes of Godzilla just walking across the Japanese countryside.
You also forgot that the military has to encounter Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
too,
the stock footage from Biollante.
Yeah.
The special effects in this flick are all over the place. But like in the very beginning with the island scenes, like there are some matte shots that are actually quite fucking good.
Right.
Perhaps the best in the series. But what I find really weird is that they're for shots that only last a few seconds, and they also are not really important shots. There was that one shot that
was a great shot.
That looked almost photoreal. There was the shot of Godzilla walking with the blades of grass waving in front of him, which is not an easy thing, especially by 1994 standards. I mean, that's the kind of thing that Kawakita was probably showing off with. But for the battles themselves and stuff, my God.
Very lackluster.
It also feels very 70s, where the last part of the movie is very battle heavy. Like, there's a lot of action in this movie, but the action is boring, like we've said. Oh, I don't know if we mentioned, Moguera can transform.
Because toys!
They only made one toy of that, to be fair.
But you know they were intending on...
That was an idea that was carried over from the previous movie.
Let me have this one, Matt!
Moguera is getting his ass kicked because he's useless.
Because he's a useless fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the killing blow finally comes from Space Godzilla, and Brian goes, "Oh, thank God, kill him. Please kill him."
Space Godzilla is my hero because he killed Moguera.
We have our three main guys in there, and Yuki's gonna stay because he wants to kill Godzilla. So Yuki tries to like shoot Godzilla, but you know, I don't know what happens. Space Godzilla gets in front of him, and he's like, "God damn it!" And he just dips back into Moguera, right? And then it cuts to this other scene of the two other pilots. They meet up with Mickey and Gondo's sister, and she's like, "Oh, where's Yuki at?" And they're like, "Moguera!" And they run and look, and we cut to this sequence where you see Moguera's like his jet start like powering up.
Powering up, yeah.
And then it fucking cuts to Yuki, who is freaking the fuck out. And he's thrown back as Moguera launches off in this fucking suicide dive, hits Space Godzilla, and then crashes into a fucking building.
It was the most exciting part of the whole battle.
I have no idea.
Something had to have been cut there. Yeah, we paused.
It was. I want to know what the fuck happened
times.
between him getting down to the hatch and him getting to
You know, he was probably done with this movie too, and he was just like, let's just go.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, please just die already, you know? So then Godzilla gets his, spiral death ray going, he blows up Space Godzilla. Yay, it's the end of the movie, and we get our big moral. In this case, the moral of the story is that if we keep on polluting space, polluting the universe, that's what it said, then more monsters like Space Godzilla are going to come to Earth. So and they're like, "Yuki, are you still mad at Godzilla?" And he's just like,
"The kid's alright, Matt. The kid's alright."
And so that subplot goes out the fucking window. By the time the credits roll, Brian goes, "Oh my God, it's so fucking stupid!" Like, he was done.
So
he
done
was
with
fucking
this movie.
done. If you want to turn off your brain and you just want explosions and monsters and tokusatsu, then do it.
This is the movie for you then, yes.
This was again, a mishmash of a bunch of different things. I would say that the majority of ideas presented were more good than they were bad. Is Space Godzilla a bad idea? No. Is Project T a bad idea? No. Is somebody trying to seek revenge on Godzilla by shooting a blood coagulant in him to avenge a character that had died in the second movie in the series? Is that a bad idea? No.
Right.
But if none of those ideas have any room to grow, then what's the fucking point?
Right, then why bring them up?
And I don't hate this movie. I know you do.
I do. I have very few good things to say about this movie, and the good things I do have to say are very trivial and not at the movie as a whole.
I think this was the movie where they realized, we have to end this now. Because the following year, in 1995, Toho decided to finally, it's only been 7 movies, Toho decided to end the Heisei Godzilla series with Godzilla vs. Desoroya, but that is hopefully going to be the next review. With that said, for Godzilla's sake, keep watching Tokusatsu for the good of mankind and yourselves. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
Here to remind you to please, oh please collect responsibly, and we will see you in a bit.